between Paul Gazza, whose skills are often dazzling, and Wimbledon's Vinnie Jones, a tough competitor, no angel it's true, but a winner through and through. A battle within a battle, and our commentator is Martin Tyler.
The new West Stand, a magnificent sight, but not yet fully operational for a tie which could fill St James's Park twice over. And the sense of occasion heightened by both lineups being kept secret until just before the kickoff. The announcements have revealed two calculated gambles by Newcastle United on the return of that midfield terrier David McCreary after an absence of 7 weeks, and on the retention of striker Paul Goddard, who's not 100% fit. Wimbledon have trusted Vinnie Jones to cope with what will be a test of his professionalism, but manager Bobby Gould has sprung one surprise. Out goes Alan Cork, and in for his Wimbledon debut at number 8 is Laurie Cunningham. Cunningham, the cosmopolitan former England winger who spent most of the 80s playing abroad in Spain, France and Belgium. The experienced Joe Worrell from Warrington, an ideal choice as referee for a competitive cup tie. St James's Park crackling with anticipation. An early touch for Dave Besant, the Wimbledon captain, and I'm sure a long kick from him. It's a ground where Wimbledon won in the First Division back in September and made a great start, scoring twice at the Gallagate end. They've also, as has been well documented, put Newcastle out of the Littlewoods Cup, and objects being thrown indicative of an antagonistic atmosphere. Newcastle concentrate on the football with Neil MacDonald. Plenty of players up in the centre in support. Goddard is one of them. Wimbledon were looking for offside and it wasn't forthcoming. And the player who only passed the fitness test this morning, Paul Goddard, was sneaking in towards the near post area to that bent cross from MacDonald. Couldn't guide it onto the target, but got there first, and that was significant. Gascoigne able to take the set piece. Jackson is well forward and was looking to loop it over Besant. Not easy. Peter Jackson noted that the bookies were making him 33 to 1 to score the first goal, and he thought it was a good bet. Fashanu off on a run. Now, did Anderson trip him intentionally? If he did, it seemed unnecessary. But that's possibly the effect that the physical presence of John Fashanu has. It's a free kick to Wimbledon. Brian Gale has joined the more obvious targets up front. Jorge Sanchez is there as well. And it's in, and it's off the head of little Terry Gibson. They looked for the big men, and it was Gibson who nipped in. And Wimbledon have struck first again at St James's Park. Keep your eye on the number 7. It was his touch. It sped into the corner. So good at set plays, and Wimbledon get it to work for them again. Six minutes gone. Besant's lost it. And it was only a snap chance for Gascoigne. He's been really irresistible around goal recently. 7 goals in his last 7 competitive matches, and Besant was grateful that it fed wide, off the knee or just below of Paul Gascoigne. Could easily have been 1-1. Mirandinha, an opening 10 minutes, crammed with incident. Darren Jackson in space. McDonald, Goddard off the bar, offside. The linesman had the flag up. And it wouldn't have counted for Goddard. But again, he made that sharp movement late that disconcerts defenders. It was a little too sharp for Newcastle because he ran offside. Fashanu. Jones. The shot is on from him, and it's a useful one too. And where was Gascoigne? So, Vinnie Jones, the marker, nearly became Jones the scorer here. And Kelly, who has a family cup tradition, of course. His father Alan played in a final for Preston before Gary was born. And Gascoigne retrieves the ball for Jones. Very nearly number 2. All from the long throw. Wimbledon able to get players into positions around Fashanu because they concentrate so much on stopping him. In fact, it went over Fashanu, and it was Cunningham, I think, who got the final touch. Gascoigne slips Jones this time. He was in his own half when he did it. And that will encourage Paul Gascoigne. Throw by Wharton. Darren Jackson made himself available. And Wharton throws it quickly and accurately again for Goddard. McDonald, it's Mirandinha's shot, but not his goal. But he appreciated the way the chance was created for him. Good work close to the goal line by Goddard, who operates with such economy. McDonald headed it down, and Mirandinha let rip. I'm sure Newcastle would have liked to have had a greater share of the ball on their own patch over the first 45 minutes. First half, which is now brought to a close by Joe Worrell, who's been an important figure. Terry Gibson with the only goal of the half, giving Wimbledon the lead after 6 minutes. And the renewal of the battle between Vinnie Jones and Paul Gascoigne so far has kept Gascoigne from being a major threat to Wimbledon in this match. At half-time at St James's Park, it's Newcastle United 0, Wimbledon 1. In the dark glasses there, a keen Newcastle United fan, John McCririck of the Racing World. I wonder what odds he's giving on a Newcastle comeback in the second half. 12 years since Newcastle United last got into the 6th round of the FA Cup. Wimbledon, of course, were there last season, and they lost to Tottenham. Anderson. It is remarkable that this season Newcastle have had problems in their home games in the First Division. They've actually taken more league points away from home than in front of these wonderful, passionate fans here. Supporters who idolise Paul Gascoigne and who will be trying to lift their team. Anderson did well to find McDonald. Peter Jackson. That's a measured pass to McDonald. Vaughan tries to stop the corner unsuccessfully. On this ground where they hold so many cup memories. Looking for the current team to write another chapter here with a comeback. Jackson. He's getting closer. Peter Jackson really launched himself through the pack here, had a good run at it, climbed the highest. Here's Wise. Sanchez. Newcastle really can't afford to concede a second goal. Just the one in terms of deficit. Keeps the match well within reach. Well, there's been a lot of activity down on both benches. Wise. And it's in! It went towards Cork, but over him. And round the back came Brian Gale. 2 free kicks, 2 goals. And Newcastle's defending cut to pieces at the dead ball situations. But now they have a corner. Gascoigne with the corner. Wimbledon buoyant, but having to defend. Retrieve the ball as Neil McDonald gives Newcastle United hope. They had to strike back quickly. That's just what they've done. McDonald flicked it on in the first place. Goddard could only get it back. And there was McDonald. In fact, it finally ricocheted in off Cork. But McDonald will claim it, I'm sure. As though Newcastle were on their way out of the cup. Gale. Goddard. Turned away from Goodyear. Mirandinha ahead of him down the line. Gascoigne also up in support. Goddard wanting to pick the right pass. Or maybe not pass at all. They were peeling off him, his teammates, and so that central furrow that he was ploughing continued to look menacing, and it brought the best out of Besant. Sanchez on for Fashanu. Well, he made up ground on Jackson, who's struggling to stay with him, and it was a sort of sprawling, untidy tackle that could easily have led to a penalty. The tension of the occasion reflected in the expression on Bobby Gould's face and in the tone of the message. Oh, it was a cruel bounce for Jackson. Fashanu! He'll take a bow here. 5 minutes left. And from Besant's free kick, just look what happened. Jackson went for it, but it skipped up. He couldn't deal with it, but Fashanu could. To loop it over a despairing Kelly. That is a bleak scoreline for Newcastle United, and all around me, they're getting up and making their way to the exits are the Newcastle supporters. You really do have to admire the Wimbledon powers of resilience. They've earned themselves a place in the 6th round of the FA Cup for the 2nd year in succession. John Fashanu sealing it with a memorable 3rd goal. And there's just a little problem as the players leave the pitch, which might spoil their day. Bobby Gould dragging Terry Gibson away. But a final score, it's Newcastle United 1, Wimbledon 3.
I know some of the lads that have been at Wimbledon a long, long time, how they react. Vincent Jones, I don't know, and I didn't know until the last 2 weeks when I chaperoned him around London and showed him what professional football is all about. And I was a little bit concerned. I deliberated over my selection. Don Howe and I discussed it, and we went with him, and I thought he was quite outstanding today.
Because there was an enormous amount of pressure on him in particular.
Yes, but if you can share pressure, Martin, and we've tried to do that within the club, not only myself, but everybody else at the club, realising what an emotional young man he is, that he's came out and he gave a good performance. But in saying that, Laurie Sanchez in midfield helped, and, you know, Terry Gibson's back now, 2 goals on the trot, having been out such a long time. Laurie Cunningham out of football for a while, did me a great hour, and then we were in a great position of finding that Oman Cork to come on.
And then John Fashanu produced a goal the like of which possibly he's not scored before.
Yes, but the big man for Don and I had a little bit of a disappointing 90 minutes. We want a lot more from John Fashanu. We know we can get a lot more.
Sounds like a G up to John Fashanu, that, to my mind.